The Starship Atlas, one of humanity's elite vessels under the Guardians of Mercy initiative, travels through deep space. The Guardians are a revered group of humans responsible for intervening in the affairs of dying or endangered civilizations, offering aid and guidance. For centuries, humanity has outgrown the desire for conquest or greed, turning instead to compassion, earning the title of Guardians across the galaxy. Commander Elena Dakar, a seasoned leader of the Atlas, is approached by her second-in-command, Finn Callan, with an urgent message. A distress signal from a planet called Valeria has been received. The planet, located at the far edge of human-explored space, is in the throes of environmental collapse and a brutal civil war. Valeria's atmosphere has become unstable, and its society teeters on the edge of destruction. Despite years of experience, Elena feels a deep sense of foreboding. The Valerian distress signal is vague, almost too desperate, and the data they have on the planet's ecosystem doesn't align. As the Atlas approaches, they find Valeria enshrouded in dark clouds and pulsing with storm activity. Satellite readings suggest mass devastation, but scattered life signs remain. The unsettling stillness from orbit sends chills through the crew. Finn urges immediate intervention, his youthful optimism unshaken by the ominous signs. Dr. Orla Thane, the ship's chief scientist and advocate for limited interference, cautions restraint. She warns that the Valerians might not survive human involvement in their affairs, as too much mercy may prevent them from evolving naturally. This philosophical conflict simmers, with Elena caught between the urge to help and the ethical dilemmas posed by past failures. The team decides to land near the capital city, a sprawling ruin named Helios. There, they meet Prime Minister Ashar Reld, a weary leader representing the last vestiges of the Valerian government. Reld greets them as saviors, portraying himself as the planet's final hope in restoring peace and order. He describes the devastation, famine, civil unrest, and the planet's deteriorating ecosystem as overwhelming. However, as they begin to assess the situation, strange inconsistencies surface. The damage appears selective, as if some regions were spared the worst of the environmental collapse, raising questions about how much of Valeria's plight is natural and how much is engineered. Elena's instincts tell her that the truth is far more complicated than Reld's words suggest. As the chapter closes, Elena agrees to help Reld's government stabilize the planet's ecosystem, but her suspicions about the true nature of Valeria's crisis linger, setting the stage for deeper mysteries to unravel. As the Guardians of the Atlas begin their mission on Valeria, the situation grows more dire. Using their advanced technology, they begin stabilizing the atmosphere, cleaning the poisoned air, and providing medical aid to the populace. Prime Minister Reld orchestrates the efforts, publicly heralding the Guardians as the planet's saviors. Despite their progress, tensions within the crew rise as strange occurrences are reported. Certain sectors of the planet, far from the epicenter of the devastation, remain untouched. Valeria's natural resources, thought to be depleted, are still abundant in these areas, contradicting the image of a planet on the brink of collapse. Finn Callan, eager to prove himself, suggests that these regions might be under the control of warlords who have hoarded resources, while Dr. Thane theorizes that there may be artificial tampering with the environment. Elena orders further investigation into these untouched areas. As they venture deeper into Valeria, the crew encounters a group of Valerian rebels, led by Commander Talia Varon, a fierce and determined woman who opposes Reld's regime. Varon reveals a startling truth: Reld's government has been manipulating the planet's ecosystem for decades, using advanced technology to control who gets access to clean air and resources. She accuses Reld of using the environmental collapse as a tool to maintain power, consolidating control over the planet's dwindling population. At first, Elena and the Guardians are skeptical, but the more they investigate, the more the evidence supports Varon's claims. The environmental collapse, far from being a natural disaster, appears to have been engineered by Reld's regime. Ancient alien technology, left behind by a long-extinct race, has been harnessed to destabilize the planet's atmosphere, allowing Reld to manipulate the weather and resources as he sees fit. The revelation leaves Elena and her team in a moral quandary. Finn, still holding on to the hope that they can save Valeria, argues that they must stop Reld and help the rebels restore order. Dr. Thane, however, is more cautious. She fears that if they intervene too heavily, they risk making the situation worse, or perhaps even repeating the mistakes of the past. The Guardians have always operated under a strict code of non-interference, and the line between aid and domination is razor-thin. Elena, torn between these two perspectives, decides to confront Reld directly. She needs to know if the Prime Minister is truly the villain that Varon claims or if the situation is more complex than it seems. Elena and her crew confront Prime Minister Ashar Reld, demanding the truth about the ancient alien technology buried beneath Valeria's surface. To her surprise, Reld doesn't deny the accusations. Instead, he reveals the full extent of his plan. Long ago, an ancient alien race visited Valeria and left behind powerful terraforming technology deep within the planet's core. This technology was designed to regulate the planet's climate and ensure that it remained habitable. However, over the centuries, the technology began to malfunction. The Valerian government, in a desperate attempt to control the failing climate systems, took control of the alien machinery and used it to artificially maintain their power. Reld admits that he has been using the technology to manipulate the environment, but he argues that it was the only way to prevent the planet from falling into total chaos. Without his control, he claims, Valeria would have collapsed into anarchy long ago. He insists that his actions, though morally questionable, were necessary to maintain order. Elena is conflicted. On one hand, she can see the logic in Reld's argument. Without strong leadership, Valeria would likely have descended into civil war and destruction long ago. On the other hand, she knows that Reld's use of the alien technology has caused immense suffering for the Valerian people, and that his regime has become corrupt and tyrannical. The decision becomes even more complicated when Commander Varon and the rebels launch an attack on Helios, intending to overthrow Reld's government and take control of the alien technology. Varon believes that by dismantling the terraforming system, Valeria can return to a natural balance and begin the slow process of recovery. She views the Guardians of the Atlas as potential allies in this rebellion. Caught between Reld's regime and the rebels, Elena faces an impossible choice. If the Guardians side with Reld, they risk perpetuating his corrupt rule and the suffering of the Valerian people. But if they support the rebels, they risk unleashing chaos and destroying the planet's fragile stability. Meanwhile, Finn Callan grows more disillusioned. His idealism is shattered as he realizes that there are no easy answers, no clear right or wrong in this situation. He begins to question the very purpose of the Guardians and whether their interventions truly help the civilizations they are supposed to protect. The final chapter opens with Valeria on the brink of collapse. The rebels are advancing on Helios, and Prime Minister Reld is preparing to activate the full power of the alien terraforming system in a last-ditch effort to crush the rebellion. If activated, the system will unleash a catastrophic storm that could destroy entire regions of the planet. Elena realizes that time is running out. She must make a decision, either stop Reld and risk the planet's destruction, or allow him to maintain control and keep Valeria on life support. Desperate for answers, she turns to Dr. Orla Thane for guidance. Dr. Thane proposes a dangerous plan. If the Guardians can infiltrate the terraforming system, they might be able to disable the destructive mechanisms and restore the system to its original function, allowing Valeria's environment to stabilize naturally. However, the plan is risky. There's a high chance that tampering with the alien technology could cause it to fail completely, dooming the planet. Despite the risks, Elena decides to go forward with the plan. With Finn, Thane, and a small team of Guardians, she infiltrates the underground facility housing the terraforming system. As they descend into the ancient, alien structure, the suspense builds. Strange energy pulses through the walls, and the atmosphere feels charged with a mysterious, otherworldly power. As the team works to disable the system, they are confronted by Prime Minister Reld, who has followed them into the facility. Reld, now desperate, tries to stop them, arguing that without his control, Valeria will fall into chaos and destruction. He, now desperate, tries to stop them, arguing that without his control, Valeria will fall into chaos and destruction. He pleads with Elena, insisting that his way is the only path to salvation for his people. The rebels, he says, are misguided, and without his leadership, Valeria will spiral into irreversible ruin. Elena hesitates, torn between Reld's pragmatic approach and her own moral compass. She has seen the devastation, but she also knows that consolidating power through manipulation has led to suffering. Before she can respond, Finn Callan steps forward, his face a mask of determination. He no longer believes in the purity of their mission, but he refuses to let Reld's control continue unchecked. "We're here to save lives," Finn says firmly. "Not to play God." As the storm above rages, the tension underground reaches a boiling point. Dr. Orla Thane completes the sequence to disable the destructive protocols in the ancient terraforming system. Alarms blare throughout the facility as the alien machine reacts to the override. At that moment, Reld makes a desperate move. He lunges at Thane, trying to stop her from completing the task, but Finn intercepts him. A violent struggle ensues, with Reld fighting to maintain control of the system. In the chaos, Reld pulls out a concealed weapon, and in the ensuing scuffle, he and Finn crash into a control console. Suddenly, the entire facility begins to shake violently. The alien terraforming system, destabilized by the damage to its controls, teeters on the brink of catastrophic failure. Elena, torn between saving Finn and stopping the system from exploding, makes a split-second decision. She shouts for Dr. Thane to complete the sequence as she drags Finn to safety. With seconds to spare, Thane manages to stabilize the system, but not before a massive surge of energy pulses through the facility, knocking everyone off their feet. Elena watches in horror as Reld, still determined to maintain control, is caught in the blast and falls into a chasm, disappearing into the darkness below. The storm above subsides as the alien terraforming system returns to its original function, slowly beginning the process of restoring balance to Valeria's atmosphere. Elena and her team emerge from the facility, exhausted but relieved that they have averted total catastrophe. Commander Talia Varon and her rebel forces, now in control of the capital, reach out to the Guardians, expressing gratitude for their help. With Reld gone, Valeria faces an uncertain future, but there is hope. The Guardians have disabled the worst aspects of the alien technology, allowing the planet's natural systems to recover over time. Finn, though injured, survives the ordeal. His idealism has been tempered, but he has gained a new perspective on the role of the Guardians. He understands now that being a Guardian means making difficult choices, not just offering mercy but sometimes standing against those who abuse power. Back aboard the Atlas, Elena reflects on the events that transpired. The Valerians will need time to heal, both their planet and their society, but they now have the chance to chart their own course. The Guardians provided the tools and the opportunity, but it is ultimately up to the Valerians to decide their fate. As they prepare to leave Valeria, Dr. Thane approaches Elena. "We didn't just save a planet," Thane says quietly. "We helped them reclaim their future." Elena nods, understanding that their intervention was more than just about mercy, it was about empowerment. The Guardians cannot always dictate the outcome, but they can provide the chance for civilizations to rise again, on their own terms. As the Atlas sets a course for its next mission, Elena looks out into the vastness of space. The burden of being a Guardian weighs heavily on her, but she knows that as long as they continue to balance compassion with restraint, humanity can truly be a force for good in the galaxy. The Guardians of Mercy will continue to walk that delicate line, guiding but never controlling, offering hope to those who need it most.